my dears, in love and light. How to open your sacral chakra, that's your orange chakra. Now, the orange chakra is all about realizations of self and self-awareness and becoming aware of how you interact with your reality and becoming aware of that good old concept of who am I? So that's the question we want to ask when trying to open the sacral chakra, mainly, is who am I? Now, this third density reality, the reality we're in, it corresponds with the yellow chakra, the solar plexus chakra. And that chakra is all about ego work and polarization, which I will look at in the next video, how to open the yellow chakra. But in this video, it's all about the sacral, the orange chakra. So blockages in the orange chakra can show up as problems with acceptance of self and not knowing the self, not knowing your true wants and needs and not meeting your true wants and needs. Also problems with being sociable, not feeling comfortable around others because you're not sure of your own personality and how to fit in with others and how to behave around others. So it's quite a social chakra as well. It can also show up as being overly emotional reliant or dependent on others to fulfill your emotional needs, rather than being emotionally self-sufficient and able to self-soothe and self-mirror, tell yourself you're good enough, tell yourself that you have confidence, that you're worthy and able to do whatever you want to do. So it shows up as all kinds of problems with the self and the self in relation to others and reality. So here are 7 ways to open and unblock your sacral chakra. Number 1 is to work on acceptance of self. So this is the main biggie one here. Now, so you need to think about what kinds of things I don't accept about myself. Let's say I don't accept how angry I get in certain situations. Now this needs to be accepted before it can be worked on. If you're constantly resisting the fact that you get angry in certain situations, you're fighting against an already negative thing. You need to have acceptance of this perceived negative aspect of you in order to heal it. So you accept that you get angry in certain situations and you wish yourself love for that. Now how can we work on it and how can we transmute it into something more useful? Let's say transmuting anger into some kind of sport and releasing it in a healthy way that way. So we have acceptance of self in lots of different ways in order to work on it, heal it and transmute it into something new, useful. Another example, let's say I don't accept the way I look. I'm unhappy with the way I look. We need to work on accepting that. Now you can always change the way you look, improve the way you look, but you need to have a certain level of acceptance because you may be perceiving yourself in a way that's not accurate and other people may perceive you very differently. So you need to have acceptance of the fact you think yourself to be ugly in order to stop resisting it and to work on it. And in that way you can look at healing it. Now why do I think I'm ugly? Perhaps people have told me that in the past and then I can heal those wounds, see my video on how to do inner work and feel better about myself and move forward in love and light and having more confidence for the self. So we work on acceptance of the self, acceptance of all those things that we perceive as negative about the self, and then heal them or work on them as we choose. And if they can't be fixed, then acceptance. We can live a happier life if we have acceptance of all those things about ourselves that we perceive as imperfect. And that's the road to loving yourself more. And when you love yourself more, you can radiate love out to others more. Number 2 on how to open the sacral chakra is contemplation on aspects of self. Now this helps us to get to know the self. Now you can choose to change these things if you want to once you've contemplated them, but many people go through life just completely ignoring how they are and they get swept up in their thoughts and emotions and act very reactively. But you can take a look at the self and try and get to know the self For example, let's think, am I very active or lazy? Well, I'm somewhere in between. Now, do I want to remain that way? Is that okay? Yes, I choose to remain that way. I exercise a certain amount and I chill out a certain amount. I'm happy with that. Oh, good. So we're contemplating aspects of self. Well, to do things like increase acceptance of self, point one. But as well as that, helping to just get to know yourself better. One more quick example. So how do I feel in social situations? Instead of just going into social situations and feeling awkward and just hating that about self, let's look at it for a moment. How do I really feel? I'm going to get to know myself, get to know my personality a bit better. Okay, I feel a bit awkward. And why is that? How do I really feel? Let me dive into it. Have a look. Again, the path of no resistance. So we get to know how we feel and then we can work on it. Either accept it or think about changing it. There's two options there. So contemplating aspects of self to help you get to know yourself. Number 3 on how to open the sacral chakra is to ask that question, who am I? Now, moving on from contemplating aspects of self, we want to ask that question, who am I really? And that's where you look at your point of awareness. Who's that person that watches those thoughts going on? So you think about how the thoughts are kind of separate to you. The thoughts are there and you're observing the thoughts. It's kind of like there's two of you. Who watches the thoughts? Who experiences the emotions? Who listens to that voice in my mind? There's a voice and then there's someone listening. So who is that listening? Who is that really? And then you come to realise that that one who listens, that one who watches, that one who experiences is separate to everything else going on. And in that way, in that moment, you realise you're a point of awareness, of infinite consciousness. And that's quite a realisation. Number 4 on how to open and unblock your sacral chakra is to meditate on who am I. So meditate for about 15 or 20 minutes to really relax yourself down and then begin thinking about who am I? And think about only that. Use your point of awareness and have yourself think about who am I? Now don't explore it or anything, don't start getting wrapped up in thought. Just observe that point of awareness and think, who is that? Who is that? Who am I? And just sort of repeat it over and over again in your mind. Just sort of every now and again, every 5 or 6 seconds or so, repeat, who am I? Who am I? And that question starts to sink down into the subconscious, and the subconscious takes that command and starts churning it over. Well, who am I then? And that really helps with self-discovery because you've given the subconscious a command to have a good old think about who am I? And that's when, well, you'll start questioning your reality, you'll start questioning what's important in your life or what you really want. And then the subconscious will sort of do the work for you more and more instead of having to consciously think about it all the time. So meditate on the concept of who am I? And ask yourself that a good few times during meditation. Number 5 on how to open your sacral chakra is emotional independence. Now this doesn't mean cut off emotional ties with everyone in your life and live alone in a tower. No, it means that the people in your life are there because you choose to have them there, not because you're emotionally dependent on them, like they're filling some void in you. For example, you might want a partner in your life because you don't want to be lonely. You have a fear of being lonely. Or you want a partner in your life because you want validation that you're special or loved or things like that. Now, if you don't already feel fulfilled within in these areas, you'll want someone to come and fill it for you. And that's where dependency sets in, codependency. Now instead, by doing your inner work, now there's my video on inner work again, and I have lots of other videos to do with it as well. And in that way, we start to heal and we become more and more and more emotionally independent, so that the people in our lives are there because we choose them to be there and not because we need them to be there. Number 6 on how to open your sacral chakra is to do some socialising. So this could be just meeting up with a friend every now and again, or you could go out and party, whatever you like. But the reason for this is that if you have a very lonely existence for too long, it's living in a reality without mirrors. Other people help you to learn things about reality because interaction teaches you a lot. Now this helps us to move into the yellow ray existence, helps to open your yellow chakra, but it's orange through to yellow. So interaction with others to help you realise more about yourself in relation to others and how they interact with you. And even if it's negative, thinking about those interactions and how you feel about them and mulling them over a little bit. Now I know during spiritual awakening it can be a lonely time because all of a sudden we're thinking differently to the people we knew already, so we can feel a bit lonely. But over time it's useful to start making some more meaningful friendships or acquaintances in order to interact with others, to help us to understand better ourselves in relation to others, and this helps to open and unblock the sacral chakra. And number 7 on how to open and unblock the sacral chakra is to do a visualization. So as I always say, get into your meditative state and meditate for 15-20 minutes and then start your visualization. Simple as anything, just visualize some white light flowing into your sacral chakra, or you can give it a tinge of orange as well, that might be helpful. So visualize some orange or white light flowing into the sacral chakra, and it's spinning like a wheel and then flowing out to your back. So just light flowing in, spinning like a wheel, visualize it opening up, becoming bright and lovely, and then flowing out the back again. Simple as that. And sit and do that for about 10 minutes before you end your meditation. So that's been how to open and unblock your sacral chakra. Please leave me and others a comment on how you would work on this chakra. And don't forget to click subscribe if you're not already a subscriber to receive regular spiritual inspiration on your journey through life. Like and share also, because we're raising the mass vibration together. So go now in love and peace.